Hello, hello, and welcome to Lady Arcader's Attract Mode. I am TrainerAnade, your host for today, and I'm here to let you know what we're about. So Lady Arcaders hosts showcases, runs, and many other game-related activities, starting every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern and every Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern. We're currently scheduling for August's Attract Mode, though submissions and volunteer applications are always open. So if you want to get something in during the dog days of summer, now is your chance. Check out ladyarcaders.com/start for those forms. However, today we are here with Leggy with that classic tale of a trainer and her Pikachu, and we're going all the way to the top in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, any percent, no mount skips. Go ahead and take it away, Leggy.
I wanna be the very best. Wait, did we start the music yet? Crap. Hi! How's everyone doing today? So I'm leggystarscream, and joining me in hanging out with the lovely TrainerAnade is the ever-wonderful dijonketchup.
Hey, that's my name.
Yeah, that's you! That's Smile!
Me.
How you doing?
I made this. I'm doing okay. It is Poliwag Community Day in Pokemon Go, so I'm gonna be multitasking and looking for shiny Poliwags. Don't mind me.
Hell yeah, I love that for you. So, obviously this is not the start of the game. There's been an ongoing tournament that's down to like the last 3 matches for this category of this game. And during one of my races, I ran into the side by accident, and I love it. It's just hilarious to me. So yeah, let's stop throwing the game and start throwing Pokeballs.
It is what is known in the business as a meme.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is that what a meme is?
Also, calling yourself out by having recently played Pokemon Unite.
Look, I don't want to talk about it. I blame Liz.
Look, I re-downloaded it too, I just haven't played it yet.
It is basically what you remember, except with more weird systems. Anyway, I'm going to do something that definitely won't come up. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It means literally nothing.
It means several things.
Wait, is Leggy lying to us? Oh no.
When has a speedrunner ever lied?
I mean, according to all the YouTube recommended videos, I get quite a bit.
Oh. Anyway.
Pokemon!
It's Pikachu! And so we're going to start off with the most important part of this game. Based on this cutscene and this cutscene alone, this game is an isekai.
Here we see Leggy playing the inferior version, EV for life.
There is a friendly rivalry between Pika players and EV players. Anyway, are we ready on the timer?
I think, yeah, countdown, and we can start.
Oops. Well, we started by accident.
Okay. Well...
My bad! I did not mean to press the button! I'm sorry, everyone, everything!
Well, we're started.
It's okay, I've got a local timer going, at least. That also started a little late, so...
So, can I just ask, is there a difference between timing for Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee?
No, both runs are about the same length. Both runs have had a faster world record at various times. So as far as we know, they are slightly different runs until they aggressively converge on our way to our third badge at 2 hours into the 3-hour run. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
But they are basically the same run in general. The big differences being the various version-exclusive Pokemon you can find in one game versus the other, and also the way that your starter carries you through the first third of the game, 2/3 of the game. If I get close to PB, we'll figure it out. So, yeah.
I loved how your character kind of wakes up and like looks at her hands like, what am I doing? I exist?
Like I said, it's an isekai. We got pulled through our TV screen from the real world into the Pokemon world.
So you're saying we're playing Arceus.
Well, Arceus is another example of isekai, but this one came first.
This is true.
Also, Legends Arceus is known to be canon. I don't know that this game is canon.
Oh, isn't it?
Because I mean, as you'll see later, it features, like, events from the Gen 1 games, but it also features the characters Red and Blue
Yeah.
after Red becomes champion. So...
True. Maybe it's just an alternate universe.
Yeah. Like, this game answers the question, what if Team Rocket was, like, 5 years slow in their plans in Gen 1? Yeah. The other thing worth noting is that, as we'll see much later on, we are in the universe where Mega Evolutions exist.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Okay, so...
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, so I have never speedrun this game. I've only played it casually, and I haven't played it in a while. So I'm here because I love Pokemon. Dijon has speedrun, and of course Leggy is the one who's doing awesome with this. So I'm gonna have all the stupid questions.
Oh, you are not having...
questions.
They are not stupid questions. You are just fulfilling your role as audience surrogate.
There you go.
But, yep, there are Mega Evolutions, because this was in the period... This game is considered part of Gen 7, which is Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, where they did Z crystals for that, for the Z moves, but they also had the Mega Evolutions in the game, like, for, like, a post-game thing, but didn't add any new ones. This one keeps the existing Mega Evolutions for the Gen 1 Pokemon, because there are exactly 153 Pokemon available in this game. Now you might be saying, but wait, there were 151, including Mew. Well, this is the game where they introduced Meltan and Melmetal. And the only way to get them in this game, and in any other game, actually, is you have to connect your Pokemon Go account to a Nintendo Switch, and you get a mystery box. And the mystery box causes Meltan to spawn around you for, like, I think half an hour to an hour. It depends on if there are events happening. And so you need to get Meltan transferred either directly into Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee through the Go Park, or into Pokemon Home to get it into any other games. You also have to evolve Meltan into Melmetal while it is still in Pokemon Go. You cannot evolve it outside of Pokemon Go, and you can't send it back to Pokemon Go, and it costs 400 candy to evolve it. Each catch gets you 3 candy, or 6 if you used a pineapple berry. So, do the math.
I can't, we're on Twitch.
But I think I successfully killed a lot of the downtime at the beginning. The tutorial phase.
Yep. You will notice, I have not looked at my Pikachu yet. I have no idea how good my Pikachu is. The good news is, in the Let's Go games, they decided to make sure that your starter is a good starter. So they give your starter 31 IVs in addition to being a special form of Pikachu with beefed up stats. Like, it's like 40 to 60 base stats higher than a standard Pikachu. And the same would go for the Eevee.
Yeah, the starter ones are unique like that. It's to make up for the fact that they can't evolve.
Yeah, the other side of the coin, though, is that the nature is random, which does come into play, because we want, ideally, a plus attack or a plus special attack nature, because that lets us, hit things harder, and we're trying to go fast. And as it turns out in speedrunning, doing more damage is good.
Yeah, and I don't know about Pikachu, but in Eevee, you also want one that's not minus speed.
Pikachu, the starter Pikachu is faster than Starmie as a base stat.
Well then, there you go.
So Pikachu does not care about base speed.
Is slower.
Yeah. Eevee is like at a normal speed for a unevolved Pokemon. And this rat got in my way.
You dirty rat, you.
Sure. I'm okay with it, but I don't work here, I'm just playing a game.
Hi, MetaLive. Yeah, we just started, so we have over 3 hours left in this run, so... yeah.
But also, speaking on the Mega Evolution front, if all goes well, we will see exactly 1 Mega Evolution.
And with the
Alright.
with the notes we have, that's fairly likely. The odds of seeing that Mega Evolution happen twice are much, much lower than they have been. Checking my stats, those are neutral attacking stats. So neither a plus nor a minus. So, by my estimation, this Pikachu is runnable.
Hooray!
Could be worse.
Although, in situations like this, or in the tournament, they're runnable whether they're runnable or not. Because you're stuck with it.
Yeah. The tournament did have rules for, like, if you didn't want to use your starter, you could go to a backup file that had a truly neutral nature, but people just figured out, like, okay, let's just figure out a strats for dealing with starters of any nature. And honestly, this tournament has been incredible for new safe strats being developed for this game. Some of which I'm going to be showing off here. Like, this has been the single most explosive bit of new Let's Go tech since we figured out how the catching formula worked.
Which wasn't actually that long ago that it was, like, figured out more correctly from how it was figured out.
Yeah, like, we had enough information that we were able to figure things out, but very recently we got some new details, like, within a year, of just how, when you have the second player out, which... That's right, this is a two-player... this is a two-controller, one-person game. I will be controlling a second character here in a little bit. But once we figured out how, like, giving the second player a Great Ball and the first player a Great Ball improved the catching odds, it just did not render it on screen correctly. That completely redid a lot of the early to mid-game routing, and made a lot of hard-to-catch Pokemon a lot more straightforward. Hey, Dijon, do you want to talk about catching Pokemon, as I'm about to start catching Pokemon?
Yeah, so, this is, based slightly off of Pokemon Go. And Pokemon Go, as you know, you, like, have to throw the ball at the Pokemon. So, if you saw, like, the opening where Leggy caught her starter Pikachu, you basically have a ball, you can give berries to it like she's giving this Oddish to make it slightly easier to catch.
I forgot to pull up my catch tracker.
And you use the Joy-Con to throw the ball, and you want to aim for inside the little circle that gets smaller, and you want that circle to get as small as possible to hit into it, because your throws go from nice to great to excellent, which increases your odds of catching, but also increases your XP, which XP is pretty important.
Really?
In this run. Really.
There we go.
Isn't there a way, like, you can catch with just a button press, but, like, you get more XP for actually doing the motion control?
So, if you are playing with the Switch in handheld mode, it is basically you move the Switch itself around to aim, and you press button to throw the ball.
Okay.
However, you cannot have the second trainer when you're playing in handheld Switch mode.
Makes sense.
So you lose the bonus XP and bonus
okay.
catch chance from that. Also, a thing that won't come into play here, but the more you catch of a specific species, the easier it becomes to catch.
Yep.
And that's separate from the catch combo, which if you catch the same Pokemon multiple times in a row, it spawns more, and they will have better stats, and their shiny rate goes up. And the shiny thing with the catch combo actually wasn't fully understood until like a year ago as well, because everyone knew that the catch combo maxed out at 31 for... I mean, your combo can go higher than 31, but the... that's where the shiny odds get to their best. So, for the longest time, everyone thought that for the shiny rates, once you hit that 31, you just sit back and everything's gonna have a higher chance of being shiny. Not exactly true. It turns out only the next Pokemon of that species that spawns has that increased chance. You have to catch another one to increase your combo to make that next spawn after that have the increased odds. So you basically have to keep catching. It's just the first spawn of that species that comes after you've increased your combo by 1. It sounds confusing the way I'm explaining it, but...
Makes sense to me.
So yeah. I actually played around with it last night because I knew I was going to be doing this, and so I was in Viridian Forest and trying to chain Caterpies and found a shiny at 30.
Nice.
I didn't even hit the max combo.
I don't know if we talked about, but I know that, we saw Leggy, there were a bunch of Pidgeys, but there was the Pidgey with the blue glowy around it that she went for. So the blue glowy is tiny and the red glowy is huge?
Yep.
Right?
It's either that way or the other way.
And do they have XP bonus?
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Okay, I thought so.
So by default, they specifically give a 1.5x. But if you're incredibly lucky, or unlucky as the case may be, and they're supersize, which look identical, they both just have the same glow around them, that's a 4 times XP bonus.
Oh, wow.
And the reason I say this can be unlucky is because you'll notice when I caught that Pidgey right there, I had to sit there for a few seconds and let all the levels tick. Every single time a Pokemon levels up, it takes 2 seconds. So if you get, like, a massive pile of levels, say from catching, like, a randomly supersized Chansey, yeah, you're gonna be sitting there for a few, and it's not great.
Especially if you're, say, like, in Mount Moon and you catch this supersized Chansey, and you don't have Pokemon in your party that need to evolve.
Yeah.
Which, on that note, Leggy, do you want to explain the catch number, or should I go ahead and do that?
Yeah, so I don't have it on stream because I completely forgot about it. But our goal, in addition to everything else going through this run, is we need to catch 50 Pokemon. Uwu. Because in addition to all the standard stuff you remember, every single gym has something you need to do to enter. I had to show a grass or water type Pokemon to get into Brock's gym. Missy's gym, I need a level 15 Pokemon. Koga's gym, I need to have 50 unique entries in my Pokedex.
So, also fun fact, it is impossible to get a water-type Pokemon before Brock's gym unless you trade for it. So, you have to catch a grass Pokemon, which means in Eevee, you have to catch Bellsprout, or in Pikachu, you catch Oddish, or if you happen to get really lucky and a Bulbasaur spawns in Viridian Forest, that also is grass.
Yep.
But that's considered one of the rare spawns that would generally you don't see unless you have a catch combo going. But they do spawn, just very rarely. And there have been a number of runs that have profited off of that.
So
Also,
there was... Go ahead.
I did not see Headbutt from Brock. That is very good.
Yay.
Anyway, you were saying?
Yeah, Headbutt is what?
I was saying Headbutt has a chance to flinch.
Ah. Well, so I was saying there was a question about were you looking for specific Pokemon when you're doing the catching? Are you just trying to catch different Pokemon then for those Pokedex entries?
Currently, yes. And so 4 Pokemon we're looking for using. We're going to be using this Oddish for a bit here in the early game to get through some of the nasty ground-type Pokemon that Pikachu just can't deal with. Shoutouts to Blue being around and being less of a jerk than previously. You can tell that he's grown up a little bit, matured, cooled off a bit. And he is still Professor Oak's grandson. But in addition to the Pokemon Oddish, we are also going to be looking for a Growlithe, a Nidoran, preferably male, and eventually a Starmie. And those are going to be...
You.
Yeah, but we're going to evolve it into Starmie, and once we catch the Starmie, that'll be our main for the rest of the run.
Look, it's not Starmie, it's You. fun fact with that up here, early does that Red is there with him, even though in that prototype he's still not there. So
True.
I guess early on Red was supposed to appear right there as well. I read too much of the cutting room floor.
Okay, so that Sandshrew is a Pokemon we don't see spawn every run because we don't have a lure up right now. We'll explain what lures are when I throw it over to Dijon. But that is a nice extra pickup here. Right now I've got 49 planned out of the 50 I need. So getting a few extras is always great. So now that I've just picked up a lure, hey Dijon, what's a lure?
So, a lure, if you've played other Pokemon games, you're probably familiar with repels. Well, this is the opposite. The lure brings all the Pokemon to the yard. And they're like, whatever their name is.
Pika.
You paid an
It's
outrageous
actually-
$500.
Yeah, the commentary and the judginess of that dialogue, but it's actually helpful because it's an early Dex get.
It is also literally the fastest way to get a Pokemon entry in your Pokedex, is to buy that Magikarp. The rest of the Get the Pokemon are actually slower than that, though they are still quite quick.
So, going into more detail on lures, when you use a lure, there's 3 tiers: the regular, the super, and the max, just like with repels. And those just determine how many steps they last. And essentially, when you use a lure, it increases the frequency of Pokemon spawns. In addition to that, they are more likely to be extra small or extra large. They do increase the chances of some of the rarer spawns, although in this run you don't really rely on that to happen. And they also increase shiny chances, but that's obviously not a thing we want to worry about during a run.
To shiny, I know in a lot of Pokemon games, I don't know if it's every Pokemon game, does a shiny take more time because of the shiny animation?
Yeah,
Oh,
but
okay.
if you see a Pokemon you need and it happens to be shiny, it's still worth, like, catching it for the next entry, because you'll only see the sparkle once.
Yeah.
Okay.
And of course, Dijon has not mentioned the most important property of lures yet.
What did I forget?
So Pokemon spawn in a range of levels. So, like, I think
Oh,
you're
right.
in Mount Moon, it's like level 6 to level 10. A lure sets them to the maximum +1 for every single spawn.
Oh, nice.
I knew I was forgetting something, but that, yeah. That's also important, because if you want to... So, registering Pokemon to the Dex is what we mean by 50 catches. You don't have to, like, catch the 50 different Pokemon. Like, you know... Weedle and now Kakuna. So now he didn't physically catch Odd or a Kakuna. So it's just registering them in the Dex, not so like catching them specifically. Which also gets confusing because there are gifts, Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle, which require you to make a certain number of catches. And that takes like number of catches of any Pokemon, even a repeat, and not dex entries. And it does not clarify that. Those are also ones that we don't worry about in the speedrun. Except, I think maybe... Did Co-op Diploma get the Bulbasaur?
I Co-op Diploma gets the Bulbasaur Theater.
Yeah.
And so, I press Alex Charmander.
It makes sense, because to level up, you would need to do that many catches at least.
Mm-hmm.
So I was curious. I know different Pokemon games have different ways to like avoid the spinners. Is there like a trick to avoiding the spinners in this game?
Just don't go when they go.
Okay.
These are not particularly nasty spinners in the grand scheme of things. So they're honestly fairly reasonable to dodge.
So Leggy removed Geodude from her party because she does not want to level it up because it takes a lot of levels from where it starts to get to Graveler, and it's much easier to catch Graveler later on.
Yeah. Also, you know, leveling things up takes XP, catching new Pokemon gets XP, so there's, like, an interesting balance between catching things early versus later versus... Additionally, every single Pokemon you can catch in Mount Moon learns a move at level 12. Every Pokemon not named Clefable.
Also, you need the Butterfree. Well, Eevee does. Does Pikachu use the Butterfree?
Neither of them use Butterfree anymore.
Oh, okay, neither of them use it anymore. Okay. But even still, have the Butterfree in your party, and you get too much XP, and it levels up, it learns, like, every powder, like Poison Powder, Stun Spore, all of them back-to-back.
At the same time. It sucks.
Yeah. And, since at that point Butterfree would have, 4 moves from Tackle, String Shot, Harden when it evolved into Metapod, and then, I think it's Gust when it evolves into Butterfree, it's gonna ask you if you want to replace it every time. Did you use Extra?
I did not get Double Moonstone. I'm just gonna wait for the attack. And
So,
throw.
there are multiple reasons why we set the clock at like 11:30 something p.m. When starting a run. One of the reasons is that if it's timed correctly, you can get a Moonstone before midnight, and then when it swaps over midnight into the next day, that's when the game like respawns a lot of items and stuff. So there's a possibility of going back after midnight, and the Moonstone will respawn. It's not a guaranteed respawn, but there's a chance of it. And if you can get double Moonstone, it helps significantly, because that's one extra Pokemon you can evolve, and I believe Pikachu relies heavily upon Nidoking.
Yep. So we'll be using... Ideally, we'll be using the one Moonstone I have on the Nidoking. Also, we are at a good point experience-wise, even though I botched the Clefairy throw.
So are there, like, is it the kind of thing where you're looking for a minimum level or a, like, level range?
So in order to get into Misty's Gym, you need to present the game with a level 15 Pokemon. So that is the bare minimum of what we're going to need here. The other thing we're looking for is a sufficiently high attack stat for Pikachu to try and set up for a one-shot on Misty's Starmie. Hi, Onyx. Bye, Onyx.
Bionics? Bionicles?
We don't have time to get into that.
You're racing queer culture.
No, this is a safe for
yeah.
work stream. We can't get into Bionicle lore.
It's PG-13.
Fair. Anyway, but at this point, I'm very good on my catch count. And we'll see what my attack stat is here. That is a 34. That is one above minimum. Because in addition to the natures and IVs, this game does not have the EV system you're familiar with, or effort value system in the Pikachu version. But it uses a system called AVs, where every single time you level up, you get +1 to a random stat.
It's great.
And in particular, it's not just +1 to a random stat. There are 10 different... Basically, every... At level 5, you get +1 to a stat. At level 15, 25, 35, etc., you get +1 to that stat again. It's cyclical. So, you have a distribution of 10 AVs that get allocated across your stats. So by now, I know I've got one attack AV locked in across my 10 because I've gone from 5 to 15.
Yeah, there's not really a way of predicting it. I think there's like some evidence that it's tied to like the characteristics of the Pokemon. You know, how to say like its nature, and then like, you know, it likes to eat or something. Yeah,
so by default, a Pokemon gets like has an even odd of having an AV at any given stat. For its nature, for the stat that is plus, it gets a bias towards that stat, and also for the negative stat, all the normal rolls that it would get for it are just completely wiped out. Additionally, the characteristic adds additional rolls towards the associated stat on top of it, which is how sometimes you can have, like, an you can still get special attack AVs. Because it has a plus special attack characteristic.
But yeah, so while this is a Kanto remake, it's more specifically... Hi, Clefairy. It's more specifically a Pokemon Yellow remake, based on, you know, the starters being Pikachu and Eevee, like they were in Yellow, and the appearance of Jesse and James, who were added to Yellow version, because Yellow version was supposed to be more like the anime. Who watched the anime but hadn't played any of the games. So this draws heavily from Yellow.
And now we're going to learn Zippy Zap. So in addition to having, you know, perfect IVs and supercharged base stats, Your starter Pokemon also get, completely broken moves. Eevee gets a bunch of moves, one for each type it can evolve into. Pikachu just gets special moves based off of, one just being a completely busted electric move, which we just picked up, and the others being based off of historical depictions of Pikachu as flying or surfing.
Because flying Pikachu and surfing Pikachu are adorable.
Correct! The important part here is that Zippy Zap is like a base 50 power move that has the same priorities as Extreme Speed, and also crits every single time.
So, just a little overpowered, then.
A little.
Yeah, so, one big difference in the routes between Pikachu and Eevee is that Pikachu doesn't get as many useful exclusive moves, and you also have to switch back and forth between different Pokemon. Let's go. Eevee is your main, and you blaze through most of the game with Eevee as your main until you complete, I believe it's the Lavender Tower.
Yep.
When you main switch. Because Eevee gets double kick early on to use against Brock's gym.
Mm-hmm.
And with how broken Pikachu's Zippy Zap is, the moves that Eevee learns are even more broken. And Eevee...
Simulate your ranges, Farhead.
Yeah, basically here in this same Poké Center, Eevee can learn...
Buzzy Buzz,
remember.
Slippery Bouncy... So it's
Bouncy
Buzzy
Bubble.
Buzz, Bouncy Bubble, and Sizzly Slide.
Yeah, so an electric, a fire, and a water, which are for the 3 original evolutions.
Yep. All of them are base 70 power. The fire one is physical, the other 2 are special. Shoutouts to Flareon. The fire and electric always burn and paralyze respectively, and the water move heals you for half the damage it does, like Mega Drain or Giga Drain.
Yeah, it's basically a water Giga Drain. Those 3 moves combined with Headbutt and then later on Double Edge, Eevee kind of wrecks shop.
Yeah.
There's a couple fights you need to do 2 controller stats on, but not as many as Pikachu does.
Yeah. Whereas Pikachu, by getting another electric move, kind of struggles with a little bit of the coverage. We're able to take out this Audition 2 headbutts. Yay!
And then in Celadon City, it can learn Batty Bad, which is a dark type attack, and Glitzy Glow, which is a psychic type. And the Eevee run uses the Glitzy Glow because there's a lot of poison types in the Celadon basement, the game corner basement.
Mm-hmm.
Because Team Rocket.
Yeah, but for now, I just have to Zippy Zap my way through Nugget Bridge.
And then it also gets... NMS is the best.
So is Venonat the best because it's actually good, or it's just a favorite Pokemon of yours?
It's my favorite Pokemon.
Okay.
But Starfall Street route, the Starfall Street route in Scarvi uses Venonat and evolves into Venomoth, which is why I started running that.
I wish Nugget Bridge was made of chicken nuggies.
Well, or is it made of Pidgey nuggets?
Do we really have like a chicken Pokemon? Torchic?
Torchic.
Well, Pidgey, right? I guess Pidgey's
Pidgey's a pigeon.
Yes. It looks like
So
a chicken.
Pidgey's a pigeon, so that would be Squab.
Fair.
Isn't that the guy from Final Fantasy VI? Or 8? One of those?
Something like that, yeah. What was I about to say? Oh, Rufflet is kind of a mix between a chicken and an eagle. Like a rooster and an eagle.
Sadly, we got the level up while Oddish was on the field. Takes slightly more time to do that. But the plan, so it used to be the case that you would just deposit everything upon leaving Mount Moon, and do basically Misty's gym in this whole back section completely with a solo Pokemon, your starter. But because Pikachu really wants to have Oddish as a partner for, various fights, we just decided to hold on to it and wait till it evolved into Gloom before depositing it, just to get that one guaranteed catch in our back pocket. And then Eevee went ahead and stole that strat, and now you see people evolving their Bellsprouts into Weeping Bells in the same way.
If there were easily accessible leaf stones that didn't take the time of going through the department store to buy one.
Yeah, I was going to say, are there any leaf stones that are easy to get? But no.
Not that I know of.
God, we wish.
There's a couple of easy to get fire stones.
Yes.
I know of 2, so that's like half a car right there. But there's one in an area on the route between Lavender Town and Saffron.
I think that's 8. I think that's right, 8?
I can never remember the route numbers.
I only remember the route numbers that we either catch Pokemon on, or
I just know them as the one that connects this place to this place.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's one in a area there that you have to use Cut to get into, which makes it easy to get around most of the trainers, but takes a few extra seconds. But is also a good place to find Abra if you haven't, or even the rare Kadabra.
Yeah, and then there's one in the Pokemon Mansion, as you might expect.
Yep. Which that one's really not even out of the way, because you have to go, right past it to move on.
Look, if they're gonna be right there.
I was going to say, I see Venonats.
Yeah, I missed the circle, but, caught the Venonat. Really?
Nope.
Oh no.
Hitting the circle does give a boost to the catch rate, so it makes sense that didn't stick. But always frustrating. Anyway, for you, Dijon.
Yay!
The game knew that you were here on comms and spawned in Venonats in an easily accessible place. Eevee can also find Meowth here, which is another one of those bonus catches.
And then isn't Mankey here?
No, Mankey is in the same place as Ekans and Sandshrew.
Okay. I'm trying to think. Mankey was now counterpart in the original games.
Yeah, so Mankey spawns on the routes on either side of Mount Moon, along with Sandshrew and Ekans in Eevee.
Yeah, the version exclusives in Pikachu and Eevee are fairly close to what they were in Red and Blue.
Nice level 18.
I need to turn my keyboard lights off because they're stuttering, and it's weird.
Oh no.
I just need a new CPU, it's too old.
Anyway, if you want to get started running this, there is a couple of sub-game categories, as opposed to full game categories. One of them is called Ditch Bill, where you try to get to this point as fast as you can. Bill comes out and asks for help, and timing ends when, instead of talking to the teleporter, you just go back out his front door.
Yeah, you just leave.
Yeah, there is another category called Get Kicked by Koga, where your goal is to go into Koga's gym as quickly as possible without catching all 50 Pokemon. And then he kicks you out. I think literally.
So, of course, if Leggy had ditched Bill here, it would not be a very good time, because that category does not catch a lot of Pokemon, because you're just doing what is necessary to get there, and there's no Pokemon number requirement.
Mm-hmm. But it is still, you know, a useful beginner entry if you're like, yeah, I really want to get into, like, Pokemon speedrunning, but all the categories seem long and intimidating. 3 hours is a lot. Granted, I'm the sort of fool who looks at a 3-hour category and goes, yeah, that seems about right. That's about average for a speedrun.
The life of an RPG speedrunner.
Right.
Well,
also, if you're looking into getting into Pokemon speedruns, you know, if something the length of Ditch Bill sounds appealing, but since this requires motion controls, if you aren't really able to use the motion controls, one good suggestion is the Starfall Street route in Scarlet and Violet. Now, I'm not just saying that because of Venonat, but it's like an hour or so, I think. And it's the hardest part of it is memorizing where things are on the maps.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a run if you do the motion controls that this game was.
Say to not do the motion controls that, you know, was as reliable, as fast, etc. I think this would be one of the perfect Pokemon speedruns. Like, I love this game so much, and if I could get away without doing the motion controls, I would. And I think it would be even better. But I just love the way that the catch 50 Pokemon requirement forces you to interact with catching Pokemon in a way that most Pokemon speedruns completely ignore.
Telling me I have to play the game?
so I did want to ask.
Go ahead.
Well, I mean, we can talk about this later, but this is the any percent no mount skip.
Right.
So how is that different from any percent?
So,
I assume there's a mount skip.
Yep. It specifically, mount skips crop up in Victory Road. where you can abuse the way that the mount's animation or movement speed, or I don't actually know all the details of it, but you can do it to bypass trainers that you would not be able to do normally. There are trainers you can just skip by because their vision is bad, and it's not considered a mount skip because you're not abusing a mount to do it. And in fact, mount skips are much harder than your standard trainer skip because they involve a lot of precise setups and whatnot, whereas me weaving through the trainers back on Route 25 is still a trainer skip. It's just, something you can just do with standard Joy-Cons and a little bit of practice.
Probably the most known mount skip is the one in Victory Road, where basically you're, riding Rapidash, and if you get, too close to a... Ooh, that's an Abra. That is nice. Yep. If you get too close to the wall, it, despawns your mount, because you're too close to the wall, and then it'll, respawn in once you're far enough away from it. So, you can set things up to where, for whatever reason, when your mount respawns, you have, a frame or something. I don't know if it's been measured or anything of, the number of frames you have. But it's, very, very tight, where, you just don't exist for that bit of time, and you can walk past a trainer and it won't see you, and it's normally a mandatory trainer.
Dog?
You look for Growlithe?
Yeah. I am gonna catch this rat for experience purposes. Not anymore.
I was gonna say, it's level 17, that's close to an Evo.
Yeah. Frick it. We'll just burn the duck.
Don't burn him. He has a headache already.
There we go.
Pokemon speedrunning is a lot of yelling at get in the ball.
Right?
Though at least in this game, there's, you see the Pokemon versus, the original, or a lot of the games where you go into the grass and you hope.
Yeah, they change mechanics around a lot. Although I think there's consistently been overworld Pokemon since Let's Go, except for... I just found a huge Poliwag.
Nice.
Except for... Did BDSP... I don't think BDSP had overworld encounters unless you were in
BDSP
the
went back to
underground.
random.
Yeah, it's...
As a remake.
The underground has wandering Pokemon, but it's just regular grass throughout the main game.
What level does Venonat evolve again?
That's a good question.
And you call it your favorite Pokemon, Tisk Tisk.
Well, yeah, I don't need to know when it evolves because it is my favorite already.
That's fair.
Also, I just give it rare candy in the speedrun until it evolves. I do know that Venonat is number 48. But I can never donate $48 to whenever they do the Pokemon donations in marathons.
That's fair. You could always do the $4.80 if, under $5 donations are allowed.
Okay, we've got Vermilion Skip at least.
Yeah, that's a bit of a tight one. It's not super tight, but it's tight enough that you kind of have to line it up to get between those two trainers.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're skipping the two trainers there.
Yep.
Yeah. There's like a small little line you can walk across where neither of them will see you.
18.
Also just noticed Indy in chat. Getting the ball, Shinji.
Right? It does feel like that some days.
So you said that the first part is different from Pokemon Let's Go Eevee?
Yes. Primarily because we're utilizing the Pikachu, which does not get the same amount of coverage as Eevee does. So we have to grab extra Pokemon to help us through things. So, for instance, I really wanted a Growlithe, but I can also work with this Kadabra as a partner Pokemon for Pikachu to just get through the next fight. Whereas Eevee would do this fight solo. Game? Get out of here.
Yeah, Eevee is basically solo main for, like I said, up until Lavender Tower is done.
Mm-hmm.
It does have a handful of double battles, though. There's a couple in Game Corner Underground where you have the second controller send out either Clefable or Wigglytuff so that the poison type will target the fairy type. Also, note where your rival is, right there at the entryway.
Summon the support trainer for the next fight.
And then suddenly, here he is.
He has an Abra that has a special teleport. That's all.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Also, your rival, who I believe the canon name for the rival is Trace.
Correct.
He's a lot kinder and friendlier than your rival in Red and Blue, who would be canonically
Smell you
blue.
later.
Right?
Okay, I just have to point out really quick that the Eevee's voice is super extra adorable with that V.
Boy.
So, one of the types of runs I like to do is in Sword and Shield. I like to do trade alt mains, and if I do Sylveon or Vaporeon, I start out with an Eevee and then use the Max raids, the Dynamax raids, and then when you Dynamax Eevee in it, the voice that comes out is like, Eva!
That's amazing.
Alright, so this game doesn't have HMs in the classical sense. Instead, we get special techniques that our starter Pokemon gets to learn. And they are not tied to having gym badges, so you can pick them up whenever. So we'll worry about that when we go fight the third gym leader, Blaine.
Don't forget to bring Burn Heal.
Ha.
Oh yeah, that is one of, like, 4 cutscenes we could skip with the cutscene skip option.
Yeah, there was one in Bill's house, there was one when we picked up Pikachu for the first time. I think there's actually 2 more, one in the Pokemon Tower, and then one right before the final rival fight.
Yeah. Yeah, the tower one. Oh! Yeah, see, it's, like, it's very precise. Like, it looked like she was right down the middle, but, this girl saw.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it feels both more precise than it is and less precise than it is at the same time.
And you can't spend too much time setting it up because you lose time if you do that. And then if your time you spent setting it up ends up not working out anyway, that's more time spent fighting a trainer. So it's like, you kind of have to adjust to it fast to...
Yeah. Luckily, every single trainer on this route only has a single Pokemon. Ask me how I figured that one out the hard way. But at the same time, this is definitely, like, slow compared to PB right now, but on the other hand, I am ahead on catches, and since catches take time, there's, like, a weird trade-off here where, more so than most speedruns, even ones that have a lot of variance in the splits, splits are a lie in this game.
Yeah. Splits do not matter until Koga.
Yeah.
Oh, Abra just spawned back there.
Yep.
Abra's a fun one to catch because if you approach it from the front, it'll see you and disappear. And I think it's programmed to run if it breaks out, like, most of the time to simulate the fact that it would use teleport.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got very lucky on the Abercatch we got.
So, like, when they started adding Pikachu's voice to the game, like, it sticks out so much because, like, it was the only one. Like, they started that in Gen 6, and then with this game they added Eevee, and, like, it would make sense for your starter to do that, but, like, all the other ones do it too, and then it carries over to Sword and Shield, and then I'm so glad that they set them back to the electronically generated cries with all the games since then.
But the cries are so cute, even though I agree they don't match.
It especially sticks out because if you evolve them, the evolutions have their regular...
Yeah, honestly, hot take. Game Freak should have just added more cries like that until every Pokemon had a cry like that.
When would they find the time?
In the extra year they take between releases, because for the love of God, give Game Freak more time.
Seriously. Let Game Freak optimize things.
And avoid some of the crunch.
Yeah. Like, putting out 2 main series games in 1 year. Come on, Nintendo.
Alright, so there's Thunderbolt. So, honestly, the fact that Pikachu's already learned Thunderbolt, we're in a really good experience spot.
experience is a thing in runs where it is not consistent because it depends on what Pokemon you find. If you get an excellent, if it's extra large, extra small, things like that. So quite a bit of variation, which can sometimes make runs interesting if you aren't getting enough XP.
Yeah, interesting is definitely a word I would use here. Hi, Furo. There's a rat. There's a tiny bird, and there's a big bird. Okay.
Charles Entertainment Cheese, yes. Powerful rat named Charles Entertainment Cheese.
Yeah, no, we are respawning this.
So this is a trick that's used sometimes in runs, where you can use a repel and it immediately despawns everything on the screen, and then pop another lure to start over with the spawns.
And that's the male Nidoran that's needed, right?
Yep. Yeah, this has definitely been one of the catch routes of all time. My timing compared to Splits has been just, like, ping-ponging between green and red. By, like, multiple minutes. Just to give you an idea of how ridiculous this game's, like, catch routing is. And how Splits are a goddamn lie.
Yeah. My spouse just popped in to say they brought me food. Didn't realize I was doing this.
Say hi for me.
Oh, but they left.
Oh, well.
I guess I have food after this is done.
Hell yeah, food. I'm debating whether to go back for a girl or a crab.
The two genders, girl and crab.
Look, I know what two genders my girlfriend has.
No, you're thinking lobster.
Crustacean broadly. So yeah, if you want to pick up a few extra Great Balls for safety, you cut through the bush, otherwise you just go around. Alright, Zubat. So here we need Machop, we need Graveler, we need Cubone, and in particular, we need a Rhyhorn. Do you want to explain why Rhyhorn is important?
Yeah, so, in this game, it allows you to have a buddy Pokemon, aside from your starter. Your starter's always, like, riding on your head. But you can have a buddy that can follow along with you. Some of them you can ride on. So, for that, we want a Rhyhorn, which just spawned as you were encountering that Machop.
Yeah, I definitely popped off in my chair a little bit there.
So, Rhyhorn is pretty fast. It's not the fastest, but it's fast enough to make a significant difference. So, as soon as you catch one in Rock Tunnel, if you find one, you ride on it. Except it's Rhyhorn and not Rhydon. Finding a Rhyhorn doesn't necessarily kill a run, but it definitely puts you behind.
Pikachu actually has an easier time of it in particular, because if we don't get Rhyhorn to ride, Growlithe evolves into Arcanine, which is also an even faster ride Pokemon.
And there's a Firestone conveniently not too far from here.
Yep. And then, not too long after we keep going, we're just gonna pick up Rapidash, the fastest ride Pokemon anyway.
Yeah, later we catch Ponyta and immediately rare candy it to evolve it to Rapidash, and then ride that for the rest of the game. Sometimes for fun, people will ride Onix or Snorlax just because it's hilarious.
Also Kangaskhan if you find one.
Yeah.
Riding in Kangaskhan's pouch is amazing and adorable.
Correct.
I have to say, playing casually, that was definitely one of my favorite things, was the different animations and visualizations of riding different Pokemon was just fun.
Yeah, so Rock Tunnel is one of the first incredibly frustrating spot in co-op diploma runs, because you have to find Kangaskhan, which is like, I believe, a 1% spawn, and a pain in the butt to catch when you do encounter it.
These days, I think you would probably just get some Ultra Balls going into it, and just double Ultra. So
yeah,
it's probably less painful than it used to be.
Yeah, but it's still a pain, because you have to find it first.
Yes. Like, the point being, the catching is way less of a pain than it used to be. Finding is still a whole nightmare.
Charmander is also a rare spawn in here. But I think it's also 1%, but I swear it spawns way more than Kangaskhan does. Like, even without a catch combo. But you don't necessarily have to get Charmander here in a diploma run.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Graveler experience.
Yeah. Most frustrating parts are somewhere between Rock Tunnel and the route to the right of Fuchsia.
Mm-hmm.
Another note here is that there are Pokemon like Golbat who got future evolutions, but still can't evolve into them in this game because it's limited to the original 151.
Hi, Onyx. No.
And
I will catch Magmar before I catch a Rock Tunnel Onyx.
I've caught Magmar a few times. Forgot what I was talking about.
This is legitimately only the original Pokemon.
Yeah, I remember. So, the game does have a friendship mechanic to it. You probably see it fairly late into the run with Starmie.
We'll
But
also
even
see it
with
in the not too distant future with... Oh, right.
next
I have a Rhyhorn.
Sunday
With Pika.
AD, in the not too distant future.
Like, Pika turnarounds in Tower are a thing.
That was a bold play there.
It's less terrifying than you might think. Oh no.
Another Rhyhorn.
Yep.
And another one. And an Onyx.
God, I hope that's a Cubone right there. It's spawning.
If it's not, that's not the end of the world. You've caught, like, everything else.
I'm actually super tight on catches.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Thought you were doing pretty good.
I'm at 31 caught, but I don't have the Nidoran female, I don't have Crab, I don't have Growlithe. Which, if Growlithe doesn't spawn, that could be really bad for my catch count. Because I've got 49 planned right now.
Yeah.
And, like, I guess I could catch a Pidgeotto and Pidgeot.
I usually catch, like, a high-level Pidgeotto at some point.
Oh, it is Cubone. Let's go!
Yeah!
Let's hecking go!
Cubone is also in the tower, but, it's not...
Wait, Pokemon spawn in the
not very
tower?
common. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's a lie.
There's
I've never seen something
Cubone,
spawn in the tower.
There's Ghastly.
No mount skips. Meaning we're not going to be doing some really tricky shenanigans in the end game. Oh yeah, shoutouts to title dropping.
What now?
Dropping the title of the game.
The thing.
I said, let's go. And that's this game. Alright.
If you find a shiny in Rock Tunnel without using Flash or whatever it's called in this game,
I have no idea if you can see them.
Does it sparkle?
I honestly have no idea.
But yeah, There's a possibility you could find Growlithe when you leave Lavender. If you kind of,
I'll probably go through the bush, just to pick up the Firestone, just in case. And then, if not, I could see it out. I have a chance to see a Growlithe outside of Celadon.
Yep.
Okay, we have Ultra Balls now. $32 caught, 49 planned.
I can't see your tracker, so I don't know what you've got under
Yeah.
the plan.
So the plan is Raticate, Growlithe plus Evo, Machoke, Ponyta, Doduo, Grimer, Ghastly, Marowak, Staryu, and then the 2 gifts.
Yeah, Porygon and Lapras. Gotcha.
Yeah. And then I either need a Pidgeotto, or a Tentacool, or just something of that ilk.
Yeah, I tend to go for Tentacool a decent amount.
Yeah. Like, I know that for the tournament, everyone's been trying to route Tentacool out of everything. Just because it is annoying, it bounces around, and while you're surfing, you don't get a buddy. You cannot call the support trainer to help you catch things. It's the worst.
Also, who else on their first playthrough of this game knew that you need Silph to go through the tower, so you skipped it and went straight to Celadon, and then found out that you actually have to go into the tower and do this fight to trigger the game corner thing.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's it.
Nice 1 HP Pidgeotto.
Did not think that was going to be a range. Okay. We're through.
Yay.
That was, unexpected, to say the least.
Yeah, that was definitely a range.
I was gonna say, that's never happened before?
Extremely. I do not think I've ever missed that range.
Yeah. I was gonna say, is that one supposed to be a range, or...?
I guess it is at level 26, because that is definitely on the lower side. Well, at least we clean up.
So, I run Eevee, so I forget. In Pikachu, does Trace always evolve Eevee into Jolteon,
Yes.
or does it? Okay, because I know in Yellow it changed depending on different things you did.
Yeah, no, in this one, it is always, always, always Jolteon.
Which makes sense because it's the analog to Pikachu.
Yeah. So in the original Yellow, it depended on how you did against the first two rival fights. If you lost the very first rival fight, he evolved into, quote, easier Pokemon. But whether you win or lose that fight in this game, and you can lose that first rival fight, again, don't ask me how. The evolution is consistent.
I imagine you just take more damage, and that's how.
Eevee crits you. The answer is you just get crit.
Yeah, that's a Pokemon running in a nutshell.
Yeah, Pokemon speedrun. Just don't get crit.
It's why I always save before Lance and final rival battle.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I just spent all this time on this run. I'm not gonna lose it. Oh, also, if you've noticed, Leggy, kind of, like, talks to the other trainers at, like, an angle to start the fight. That's because if you, like, walk past their line of vision, it wastes a second or two with the exclamation point popping up and then them moving. So you want to talk to the required trainers whenever possible because it saves time and that time save adds up. There's a Pidgeotto.
Not close enough to evolving.
Is it not high enough level?
Nope.
Yeah, you'll probably want to get that on the Doduo route.
Exactly.
Down to Firestone. Before you have a car. Abra's being super generous today.
Right?
Like, if you didn't already have one, that would have been an easy one to catch.
Oh yeah, that would have been incredible if I was on the hunt for Abra.
Do you not pick up hidden items in the tunnels anymore?
No need. We picked them up on the way to Vermilion the first time.
Okay.
We pick up a nugget and a lure there, but at this point, we're basically set on cash for the rest of the game. Nothing.
You got Jiggly?
Welcome to the RNG part of the run.
Oh, here comes the second reason why we set the clock the way we do. So, what Leggy's gonna do is pick a specific combination of colors, and that sets it so that every Pokemon that you encounter will have a specific nature until the end of the day.
The actual 24-hour day as recorded
Yeah.
by the Switch.
Yeah, so since it's somewhere around like 1 a.m. probably,
Yep.
you're never gonna run out of that. And she set it to modest, which is plus special attack minus attack, which is the preferred nature for the Starmie that we want.
I forgot to summon my support trainer.
Yeah, luckily you can summon the sport trainer in the battle too.
Mm-hmm. Also, don't forget to talk to the poster.
Yeah.
Because that does not happen automatically.
Yeah, it won't let you battle that trainer until you do the first encounter in the tower. Also, Jesse and James hopefully giving us hints to the poster that we already checked.
Mm-hmm. Alright. Here it's just jab zap. Aw, yeah. No one got hurt, so that's great.
Heck yeah. Everyone's just so shocked when you win.
Right? Anyway.
Although, anyway,
Hey, Dishon,
yes,
you want to see some newly concocted strats from the community?
sure,
It'll be after this fight.
all right.
Because the next Jesse and James fight, you used to have to, like, go into your box and withdraw a fairy type to sacrifice so that your Pikachu doesn't explode. We don't have to do that anymore.
Fancy.
Yeah, we have figured out the strats.
Yeah.
And you want to know what the secret is?
Don't die.
Well, one, yes. But the answer is, what if, instead of having Pikachu out there, frail little Pikachu who dies in, single hits, we brought Rhyhorn.
That makes sense. That's what Eevee does. Well, to be more specific, Eevee has the fairy out for a couple fights down here, and it gets you send out the Rhyhorn after it faints.
Yeah, but if we just send out Rhyhorn and Nidoking, we don't need to worry about a fairy, we don't need to worry about Pikachu. Life is just good.
Well, also, Eevee doesn't need to use Nidoking, so
Yep.
that's an opportunity to take out either Clefairy or Jigglypuff and then evolve it and get a Dex entry, so... It does, at least, provide double duty.
Yes. Though if I did get Double Moonstone, I would have just evolved the Jiggly when I deposited anyway.
Yeah, fair. That is another option with Eevee as well. Also, this is the OSHA portion of the run.
Yeah, so if you like a good OSHA violation, welcome. Please do not climb on office chairs. That's a great way to hurt yourself.
Especially a rolling office chair.
Yep.
And this is the section where you get to control either Pikachu or Eevee, depending on the version.
I wish they had a few
And-
more sections like this.
Yeah, like, I was just about to say, like, I wish they had done more with this, because, like, that would have been a fun way of doing some puzzles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You know.
this is really adorable. And I'd hoped that we'd see this in, like, future games, and then, nah.
Yeah. You know, puzzles that don't involve OSHA violations.
Yep. Definitely not safe for a workplace environment.
This is a PG-13 stream, too. We got not safe for work content. Yo, I found a shiny Poliwag.
Yo, let's go,
Congrats.
baby!
Attack, 0 defense, 15 HP.
Alright.
Woohoo!
15 being the maximum in Pokemon Go.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, and a second one.
Nice.
Yo.
Basically multitasking here. It took about an hour and 48 minutes into the 3-hour community day to find the shiny, and then I got 2.
I mean, I had numerous community days at the beginning where I never found shinies. It
Wow.
took me, like, I think it was at least like a year into Pokemon Go before I got my first shiny, and I was just like, why?
Arbok is down.
So X items are very important in speedruns.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if it's been explained yet. Basically, X items, there's X attack, X defense, X special attack, X
There's like
special
one for
defense.
each stat.
Yeah, except for HP.
Yeah.
And originally, those would raise your stage by 1 stage. There's basically like 6 stages up, neutral, and 6 stages minus for stats in battle.
Yeah, in Pokemon broadly.
So, for a long time, it was just they just raised by 1, and then in Gen 7, they changed it to not only raise it by 2 stages, but also made them cheaper, and that carried over to Let's Go, and then the games afterwards. So they are very useful.
Okay. Rude. Right.
Because I think each stage gives you an extra, like, 0.5 multiplier, so it'd go to, like, 1 to 1.5. That's a nice camera angle.
Right? Yeah, so it's like 1, but by neutral, then 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4, and then it's that number divided for the other direction. So it's not like it's -1 or whatever, it's like at stage 2, it would be normally times 2, it's actually a half.
So yeah, throwing out X items definitely helps, because you're generally in speedruns under-leveled, quote-unquote. So those things help make up that deficit. Also, in the original Gen 1, was very easy to abuse.
Yep.
Because the X accuracy just completely removed accuracy checks. And so Nidoking was part of that run as well.
Just
And
horn drilling it, everything.
It can learn Horn Drill and Fisher. And the way Gen 1 did the Oko attacks is that you had to be a higher level and faster. So, as long as, like, the level was high enough on your Pokemon, and you threw out, you know, X speeds if needed, and an X accuracy, you can basically one-hit everything with Fisher or Horn Drill. And it's, you know, convenient because Nidoking learns 2 of the Oko attacks.
Alright.
Oh yeah, I forgot to point out, Giovanni, for some reason, has an erotic Persian painting.
Dijon, please.
I got another shiny.
So yeah, picking up some extra Ultra Balls for safety because I'm a little bit behind on where I want to be catch-wise.
With the number of catches or the Pokedex entry catches?
So with the number of Pokemon I need to actually catch to fill out my Pokedex entries.
Alright. Since apparently they're 2 different numbers, depending on what you're trying to do, so...
Luckily for this run, we only have to care about number of actual entries. Yeah, so since we don't have a Growlithe, we do go back, we revert to the classic strats of withdrawing a Sacrifice Mon. Otherwise, we'd sacrifice Growlithe there.
I'm sad that there is a Sacrifice Mon at all, but I'm happy it's not the Fire Puppy.
But see, the nice thing is, if you have your Fire Puppy knocked out on the next Jesse and James fight, when you evolve it into Arcanine, you can ride that through the next route where the Pokemon are really high level when you're catching them, and it won't get experience. So it's actually really good to just let your dog have a nap so it doesn't level up a bunch.
I guess that's fair.
It's not like a true sacrifice, you're just letting your dog take a nap.
It reminds me of that, like, it was like a Tumblr post or tweet or something of, like, someone talking about, like, in, like, daily life, like, how does Pokemon experience work? Like, do you let your cat out for the day and then later that evening it comes back and an Incineroar just rips the door off?
I mean, if we're counting the Let's Go mechanic from Scarlet Violet, they don't evolve until you let them evolve, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, in Legends Arceus, they don't evolve automatically. It just says they can evolve, and you go into
Cubone!
them.
Tower
and you
Cubone!
evolve them. Dang. See, if you hadn't found one in
Yeah.
the run
And
tunnel.
the fun part about this? I don't have a lure. There is a tongue-in-cheek playground rumor that goes around the Let's Go community that not using a lure in the... Really? That missed the range.
Wow.
Sorry. There is a playground rumor going around that goes around the Let's Go community that if you don't use a lure in the tower, it actually does better than if you do.
Interesting.
Which, you know, is definitely not true. But it's a funny anecdotal, playground rumor, like mentioned.
Also, that healing pad, you have to be careful when stepping onto it, because the way this game is with, like, just, like, I guess, like, hit boxes, for lack of a better term, you can accidentally trigger it twice trying to go through it.
Mm-hmm. And that's always frustrating. Yeah, I'm just picking up all the safety items. This hype potion is great in case Bad Archer decides to be the worst Archer.
Archer.
Yeah, we've already fought Archer once. He's the guy we fought right before Giovanni. Down in the Game Corner basement. There's a fight with him later on that is single-handedly the worst fight in this game.
Yeah, we'll describe it when we get there. Anyway, that's another cutscene we can skip, is the ghost turning into Marowak and then Cubone
Being sad.
like, yeah.
Jeez. That was like a frickin' ghastly missile right at my face. What the heck?
Did you already get Ghastly? I didn't see it.
Yeah, I have a ghastly.
Okay.
But yeah, ghastly jump scare.
Ghastly. And here's the fairy strat.
Yeah, we are kicking it old school.
Yeah. Basically, since fairy is weak to poison, the AI is programmed to target the super effective. So it's just kind of there as a decoy to take an attack.
Whoops. We want to attack with Pikachu. And it lets us get the 2 hits off. There's our first instance of a turnaround, if you want to talk about those.
Yes. So, remember when I mentioned earlier that this game has a friendship mechanic, but it doesn't work to evolve something like Golbat into Crobat, because Crobat's not in Gen 1. It does, however, do things like the... Oh wow, that wheezing is still there.
I mean, I knew that was a range.
Yeah. So it causes your friendly Pokemon to, like, turn slightly to look at you for praise, because it is your friend.
It sucks and it
That
costs
does-
2 seconds every single time it happens.
Yeah, so that's one of the reasons why we swap away from Eevee in the Eevee run at this point.
And Pika in the Pika run.
Yep, too much friendship. Not effective. Gonna lose a lot of time. So
Yep.
we start over with the Star You / Star Me, and we hope like heck that it doesn't become friendly until like the very end of the Elite Four.
Typically, the Starmie is going to become friendly by Agatha just from the rare candy usage and X-item usage.
Yeah.
We've looked into the numbers of, like, letting Starmie get knocked out at various points to lower its friendship. Not nearly enough to cause a dent into it.
But sometimes the friendship mechanic can be helpful because it can, I don't remember if Let's Go, if they can, like, evade an attack out of friendship, but they can live on 1 HP out of friendship, or if they get poisoned, paralyzed, etc., they will shake that off as a friendship thing. So, it does have its benefits to it, but it is a bit of a time sink if it, like, keeps turning around.
Yep.
Is this the first game that had that?
I don't think so. Friendship mechanics have existed since Gen 2. I know Gen 2 was pretty much just for friendship evolutions and the moves Frustration and Return, which depended on happiness. Past that, I'm not sure. I mean, they added more friendship. Speaking of, that's a fun little skip because if you're on your ride, you'll get noticed, but if you're against the fence, you're small enough to pass through unnoticed.
But it's not technically a ride skip.
Yes,
Or
because
mount.
you're... Yeah, because if you just weren't riding your horse, your mount at all, you would just be able to walk by.
Yeah, because you're not, like, abusing the frames where you don't exist. You're just being a person, but, like, using the fence to despawn your mount rather than unmounting.
Yeah.
But friendship stuff, I think I remember, like, the Gen 6 and Gen 7 games, having, like, friendship-related stuff in battle as well.
Okay, I was gonna say, like, the shaking off the poison and things.
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
remember for sure, but I feel like I saw in Gen 6 and 7.
Well, Chad, if you know, let us know.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You know what? Rat time. And then it's bird time. I still need a horse.
Your kingdom for a horse.
Kingdom horse.
Kingdom horse is fire!
That horse is in fact on fire.
This horse is on fire!
What game was the first that introduced, like, all of the in-combat effects of friendship? Is the question.
Yeah, because we know friendship has existed since Gen 2, but that was pretty much just for evolutions and frustration in return. Also, this patch of grass and bushes is definitely not suggestive at all.
Dijon, please.
I try, yeah. X and Y? Okay. So yeah, that was correct. I think that is a stubborn Pidgeotto.
Right.
Yeah, making side shots is a pain.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know for sure how Leggy does it, but for this game, I use the little Joy-Con cradle thing that makes them into like a controller, and it makes it easier to throw both at the same time, and then you kind of have to throw at the side, but like side throwing is kind of broken in this game.
So,
affection and friendship, those were separated, I believe for the express purpose of Sylveon, because Sylveon needed 3 hearts of affection, since Eevee already had friendship evolutions.
Okay. Sure.
And I think that... Oh, you got Big Horse.
Yeah.
That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, we're gonna do double ultras here.
Yeah. And Gen 7 carried that over, but Gen 8, they combined it, and so now Sylveon's evolution is friendship-based. Just the difference is it needs to know, the Eevee needs to know a fairy-type move, which is generally Baby Doll Eyes, because that's the first one that it learns.
The good news is I fixed my catch route.
Nice. And then that method of evolution carried over to Legends Arceus and Scarlet and Violet. I mean, presumably that's how friendship works in BDSP, but there's no Sylveon in that game, so it doesn't really matter. I heard
God.
a wee.
I did too. And the answer is no.
Aww.
Do it. Do it. I don't
Already
even
caught a
see
duck.
it I don't even see it anywhere, so...
So people have figured out that that route could be taken... cut very close in a lot of places there. It is still terrifying to me.
Yeah, there's a lot of catches in that route.
Well, but specifically
so-
just those trainer passes there.
Oh. I thought the ones that you, that are standing with a Pokemon you have to talk to fight. Do they
Nope.
have... It's like,
They have one tile of vision.
okay. Well, then I've just gotten extremely lucky in all of my runs, then.
Yeah, like, you could basically just run straight down the middle there, but, again, it feels like every time you take a step, you're gonna hit something.
There's a lot going on that route.
Mm-hmm.
Also, that route is cycling road in all the other Kanto games.
Good old Rat 17, baby.
Which requires a bite, which makes Crystal Key Item Rando fun sometimes.
Anyway, we're about to pick up Surf. And if you remember your Gen 1 Pokemon, you're like, wait, but don't you need to beat Koga before you can surf? The answer, of course, is no.
Yeah, the cute Pikachu.
I am so glad that they got rid of HMs.
Yeah. Because, like, Surf's a great move. And, like, I'm very okay teaching it to Pokemon. Cut, on the other hand...
Yeah. And, like, you know...
Oh my god, please talk to the water.
Like, Surf is still a TM in Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet, so that move is still there.
Yep.
I think it's... I think Strength is also there, but all the other moves don't exist anymore. Fly Might, actually.
Okay, star time. Kind of a mid-star, okay.
Yeah, you can see in the corner the CP. The CP of a Pokemon is based on its stat total, and that's a mechanic taken directly from Pokemon Go. It's based on species and its base stats in general, Pokemon level, and IVs.
Yep. And since we have the level fixed because of the lure, the nature fixed because of, whatchamacallit, the thing we did back in Celadon,
yeah, the fortune teller.
Yeah, we could basically just say, use that as a proxy for... Really? Basically, we could just use it as a proxy for, like, how good are this Starmie's IVs? And at that particular level, I know what the range looks like. I forget the exact numbers offhand, but I can tell you that was definitely deep in the middle of the range. Now, the quality of the Starmie, of course, is also going to come down to how those stats are distributed. So, it could be the case that all those stats are in special attack and speed, and life is really good. It could be the case that all those stats are in, I don't know, special defense and HP, with a few extra ones in attack for good measure, and we're really sad. A Starmie with perfect special attack and speed IVs and zeros and everything else has a 1032.
Yeah, so CP only exists in Pokemon Go and Pokemon Let's Go. Which, like, is kind of a shame because it gives you a better idea relative to your Pokemon species, like, what its stats are like. Because in most games, you have to go pretty far into the game and out of the way to, like, get the judge function to evaluate IVs.
Yeah, and this one is also a little out of the way.
And even then, like, the IVs are not, like, completely, like, just given out. You have to, like, decode, like, whether it's, best or decent, and take that with its level and stats and put it into a calculator to find what your IVs are, and you still may need to level it up and put in more data to get an exact number.
Yeah. And this, doesn't solve that problem, but it's one extra data point that you can look at. Okay, my speed is okay. My special attack is decent, I think?
Yeah. Just kind of have to make note of it
Yeah.
every time it levels up.
And since I'm only going to catch one more Pokemon, most of the levels I'm going to get are going to come from combat, so we'll be able to check out the stats every level.
And then some rare candies later on.
One rare candy later on.
Yeah.
Now I just need to find a Grimer.
I guess you do have a spare rare candy since you caught Big Horse instead of Little Horse.
Well, it's not that you get a spare one, it's you pick up an extra one. We have routed out using the extra rare candy on Big Horse as, like, what you do with that. You actually pick up the candy down in the basement here.
I mean, on Eevee, I've always picked up the candy in the basement.
Yeah, I think Eevee does it slightly differently, too, because, like, the Raichu ranges versus the Jolteon ranges are different.
Yeah. And I do believe your rival's starter also has the boosted IVs, I don't know about the evolutions, though.
There's a spreadsheet.
This is a fun little optimization where the support trainer won't trigger a battle, but if you pass through the line of sight, if it hits your support trainer first, that's where they'll stop. So you can use the support trainer that you need in the battle anyway to basically make the guy walk less and you get closer to the where you're supposed to go.
Yeah, goodbye to the bird.
Bye-bye, birdie.
Yeah. Okay. There's the Pidgeotto Evo.
This is more or less the point where, hey, Leggy, look at the clock.
What's the clock say? Ah, nice.
Nice. But yeah, this is more or less where the Pikachu and Eevee routes kind of converge, for the most part, because they both get Starmie, and use it for the rest of the run.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, the rival fights are a bit different, because Jolteon versus Raichu.
But at the same time, you know, the rival has the same rest of his team, so...
Including that Pidgeot.
So we haven't really talked about the rival's Pidgeot. The thing you need to know is that one of the big things we try and mitigate in Pokemon speedrunning is the effect that RNG can have on your combat. So, you know, like, we don't try and press moves with less than 100% accuracy unless there's a really good reason, for instance. So the rival's Pidgeot knows Sand Attack. And, Sand Attack is probably Pokemon speedrunner's least favorite move of all time.
It knows several other things too.
Yeah, but Sand Attack is the most problematic one at this stage of the game.
And it's time for the Blaine quiz.
Yeah, luckily I'm an actual brain genius, so I'll just get all the questions right.
Just remember Tombstoner.
Also, Pokemon Company is cowards. I do not think they sell these Blaine plushies. But they should.
Are they plushies? Or are they more like, action figure?
According to the game, they're dull. Also, Game Freak are cowards for changing Tombstoner to Tombstoney. But hey, at least they kept the Tombstone part.
True.
Yeah, Blaine is basically if Eggman was gym trainer in the Pokemon world.
And also just, like, really into nonsense.
I mean, isn't he already?
You know what? Fair.
I miss Dr. Robotnik.
Okay, there's confusion. Luckily, full heals get rid of confusion in this game. And we don't get burned.
Yeah, Starmie kind of tears this gym to shreds.
To
as
shreds,
can
you
imagine.
say? That is the one thing that will get in the way with my Star's speed,
Yeah, that's
is eating that Flare Blitz.
Yeah, that's the speed, all right. You generally want to be faster than that Rapid Dash.
Yeah.
And, the Starmie's got not great speed IVs, apparently.
Yeah, I am 1 point of speed below tying.
But anyway, here's our third badge.
Yeah, everyone knows Blaine, the third gym leader.
That's...
Yeah.
Sure.
So, because badges are not required to use the HM moves, you can basically go anywhere and do the gyms in just about any order. The only exceptions are Brock and Misty have to be the first two because you can't progress until you do those. But after that, it's a free-for-all as long as you get the moves to like cut and surf and stuff.
Yep, the only other restriction is you have to do Giovanni last.
Right, yeah. And you have to finish Silph to do that too.
Yes.
Which, I mean, I don't...
Well, you have to
I know,
do Silph Code to fight Sabrina anyway.
I was about to say, Gen 1 required you to do Silph to fight Sabrina, and I couldn't remember if it was that way in this one or not.
Yeah, if we didn't have to do Silph to fight Sabrina, we would just probably not deal with Archer 2.
Also, fun fact, in Gen 1, the trash can thing is actually broken. Like, it's supposed to be, you find the first switch, and then the second switch is, like, one of the ones surrounding it. sometimes the game just decides no, and regardless of where the first switch was, it puts the second switch in the bottom left most trash can.
Yeah. It is worth noting that in this game, the two switches are always in the same place and you can press them in any order.
Yeah. And in Gen 2, there are no switches. Well, except for maybe Falconer.
So once you can go around and do all the gym leaders, do you do them in any specific order? Or basically just whichever's closest kind of thing?
Yeah, so we're going to start off by just cleaning up Surge and Erica, because we are very overpowered at this stage of the game, and, we don't even have to set up on them. Plus, doing Surge gives us access to Thunderbolt, which we're going to teach as soon as we get outside.
Yeah.
We wait till outside so that we can do the menuing, including hitting Fly at the same time.
Yeah. Thunderbolt's a great electric attack till you get ground down by a Marowak.
What kind of Pokemon are you?
I mean, how do you do the things you do?
Share with me your secrets deep inside. What kind of Pokemon are you? Are you loyal through and through? Do you have a heart that's true? What kind of Pokemon are you?
Well, the Pokemon I currently am is a shiny Poliwag on my phone.
Hell yeah, love that for you. And then after this, we're gonna go through and do Silphco and Sabrina's gym, because we're there. Doing Silphco also gives us access to our 2 final gift Pokemon, which will take us from our current total of 48, once everything finishes evolving, to the 50 we need.
Good luck with Muck and its poison gas. Make one wrong move and it'll kick your grass. To this day, I cannot believe they put that line in there.
Yeah, I can't believe they got away with that.
Yeah.
Also, for this gym puzzle, you need to present a cute Pokemon. Every single Pokemon is cute.
Yep.
Which, I mean, is true.
She will bury her She says, "Oh, this Pokemon smells so good. I'd love to bury my face into it, even if you present a Grimer or a Muck."
Yep.
I mean...
All 153 species in the game are registered as cute.
Chat wants you to rap more, Dijon.
Electro, Diglett, Nidoran, Mankey, Venusaur, Tata, Fearow, Pidgey, Seaking, Jolteon, Dragonite, Ghastly, Ponyta, Vaporeon, Poliwrath, Butterfree!
Gotta catch 'em all, gotta catch 'em all.
I'll search across the land, look far and wide, release from my hand the power that's inside. Venomoth, Poliwag, Nidorino, Golduck, Ivysaur, Grimer, Victreebel, Moltres, Nidoking, Farfetch, Abra, Jigglypuff, Kingler, Rhyhorn, Fable, Wigglytuff!
Also, shoutouts to Erica, who is, just like me for real, extremely the sleepy.
Mood.
In the Pokemon world, even sleepy lesbians can be gym leaders.
I feel like a vast majority of gym leaders are certainly something, but especially Pokemon Scarlet Violet, like, all the gym leaders are definitely a gender.
Oh yeah.
So.
Like, all of Team Star are just are like, your school's GSA club.
Yes.
They are precious baby queers, and I want to protect them with my life. So...
Remember the anime for this gym where only women were allowed, so Ash, like, dressed as a girl to get in, which was kind of a plot hole because Brock was allowed in?
Yeah, but...
Yes.
But also, that definitely didn't awaken anything in me either. Still no dogs.
Wow.
The puppies are just being shy today, okay?
Yeah. But I just want to hang out with them and give them lots of good pets. I don't even have to sacrifice them anymore.
Yeah, but now they're nervous.
You know, fair. But the other main reason we do those two gyms right now is because number of badges determines how good the items in the Pokémon are. And we want to pick up things like Hyper Potions and Max Repels when we go shopping after we finish Silphco.
Yeah, unlike some of the older games where the stock of a store just was, like, different from place to place. This game, and I think all the games since, have basically the same stock, and the more badges or whatever you have, the more stuff is available.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say, it is based on the number of badges, not like which badges, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
The fact that I have 5 badges total is what's important.
We're sitting at 5.
Anyway, even with a modest nature on this Dodrio, this is still a one-shot. Dodrio, thank you for your service. Your services won't be required until the very end of the game.
Yeah, the fun thing about Blue having an Executor is it resists literally every move that Starmie has.
Yeah.
So,
because I have no
pulling
idea
out
where you would even go to get Ice Beam.
I have no idea where it is. But it's more out of the way than just putting in Dodrio, that's for sure.
A Dodrio named Doodles. That is a super good and powerful name. Holy heck, I love that.
I was gonna say, that's my kind of name, and I approve.
Okay, time for the worst fight of the game.
Yeah.
This is Archer 2.
So
It is a full-on 2v2 fight. There are 3 AI-controlled people on the stage. And this game definitely was optimized. So
I think this might be the only fight in the game where you have an AI partner. And, so, first of all, the AI is not particularly smart. Second, look at how long it takes the AI to register a move and the 2 moves for the opponents.
oh, this might be the dream fight.
Ooh, dang.
Turn
You
1
got-
explosion.
Yeah, you got...
So, if we see Bone Barang taking out Raticate, this fight will be over in 3 turns, and that is the optimal fight.
This is...
The AI just wants to prove you wrong.
This is
Yeah,
this is
this
the
is
dream
going-
so far.
surprisingly well for...
Yeah.
Yeah, you see how long it took to register all that data.
Oh.
Oh,
Yo!
yo!
3-turn archer,
That's-
baby!
Nice.
That is...
Ah, that makes
That
up
is
for
a-
so much.
That is basically optimal.
No, that is
So-
the fight.
Yeah.
Especially because, you know, the sucker punch doesn't matter because we had a free heal after this fight.
Yeah.
So, you cannot ask for a better fight than that.
Yeah. Also, these pads are annoying, because unless you step on them directly right, your character will stop and adjust themselves. And, like, some people say you gotta do it perfectly from the side, some people say you gotta do it perfectly from the corner. I've done both and had varying degrees of success, so it's...
Yeah. I'm 2 for 2 on pads. I'll probably muck this one up. Yeah, like that. There's that turn.
Yeah. And these same pads are in Sabrina's gym.
Yeah. Just, you know, one of those micro-optimizations.
And just character positioning in general in this game is a bit rough. So, like all the other Jesse and James fights, this fight is not so much a support trainer fight, but a forced double fight. So, you are using the first player controller to control both, because it is you using 2 Pokemon, not you and a support trainer. Which can really mess you up when you've spent most of the game doing double trainer fights, controlling one with one Joy-Con and one with the other.
The only good side of it is that the Jesse and James fights are the only, like, actual double battles we do in the run.
Mm-hmm.
So, you just have to remember, if it's Jesse and James, you're only playing on one controller.
Yeah, the thing is, like, just even knowing that, it still trips me up sometimes. Hey, your pile of sludge is evolving.
Into more sludge.
I was gonna say, a bigger pile of sludge?
Yep. Oh, speaking of Grimer, the Alolan forms of Pokemon are in this game as well. Because all the Alolan forms were Gen 1 Pokemon, unlike other generations where regional forms came from different generations. All of Alola's forms were Gen 1 Pokemon. And so there are various Pokemon centers that have people who will trade you an Alolan version for the Kanto version. So they have, like, unlimited Alolan Pokemon to trade, so as long as you have, you know, say a Kanto Raichu to trade for an Alolan Raichu, you can get as many trades as you want with those people. Obviously, some of them are exclusive. Like, Grimer is exclusive to Let's Go Pikachu, so you can only trade Grimer there.
And then Vulpix is exclusive to Eevee.
So you can only get the Alolan Vulpix there. The Alolan Pokemon can be shiny. It is the base 1 out of, like, 4,100 something. Even with the shiny charm. But they can trade you a shiny.
Anyway, shoutouts to
bad.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. I was gonna say, it's too bad we have to, like, talk to them and get the Master Ball.
Yeah, like, immediately after we're done catching Pokemon.
Yeah, so we don't need it.
There was one race I was commentating where someone's catching route went so far off the rails that they used the Master Ball on a Venonat outside of Fuchsia to evolve it with a rare candy at the very last second, which was just absolutely wild.
I remember you showed me that.
Oh yeah.
Also, there was the GDQ where Etiquette threw the Master Ball at a Psyduck.
Hell yeah.
And here's a free Lapras.
Mm-hmm.
You can find Lapras in the wild on the route to Seafoam Island.
From which direction?
It's on the Fuchsia side.
Okay.
By the way, I know we've had people come in and, you know, we're getting closer to the end of this 3.5-hour run, so I just want to remind everyone really quick who we are. This is Lady Arcaders doing the Attract mode, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, any percent, no mount skips. Lady Arcaders hosts showcases, runs, and many other game-related activities, starting every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern and every Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern. If you're interested in submitting a showcase, a run, or you're interested in volunteering, those applications are always open. You can go to ladyarcaders.com/start to get those forms. But otherwise, I hope you're enjoying. We have a lot of fun Pokemon and weird RNG that is both wonderful and awful all at the same time.
It hasn't been that bad. Like, the fact that I didn't have to go too deep into the backup pool, like, I was never considering catching, like, Grimer, no, wait, not Grimer. The fact that I never had to, like, worry about catching, like, Tangela or Magmar means, like, there's a lot worse you can get, too.
Yeah.
Fair.
I don't even remember seeing a Magmar.
Oh, a bunch of them spawned in the mansion.
Oh, well then I clearly was not paying attention.
Yeah, I do have to pay slightly more attention in that area.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just because, you know, not running into them.
I will say, they made Sabrina's gym with teleporters, like, badass in this game.
Right.
Like,
Welcome back to the 80s.
Like, I think this is, like, unironically, the best designed gym in this game. Teleporter puzzles are still, you know, annoying.
Yeah,
See, it looked like you, like, stepped, like, directly on the side and you still tiptoed, so...
Yeah.
The puzzle is a bit longer in this game than it is in the original. Because I think in the original, or at least in Gen 2, when you go into Kanto, it's like 3 or 4 teleporters and you're there.
Mm-hmm. I think it's like a weird cheese. Like, if you find, like, the one that just, like, skips you ahead of the puzzle or whatever. And with all things Gen 1, who knows how intentional that was implemented.
Sometimes when I'm doing the item rando in Crystal, I remember what the correct order is. Sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we got turn 1 light screen, which is the typical strat for this fight.
Yeah, generally expected. The light screen basically reduces incoming damage, special damage, to the entire team, regardless if you switch out or if it's doubles. And it lasts for 5 turns. So, basically, like, you wanted to time that so that she used the necessary X items and whatnot, and defeat the Mr. Mime on the turn that the light screen fades, so that she doesn't have to deal with the light screen for the rest of the fight.
Yep. And of course, I did the most dangerous strat, the most important strat, which is do not press Scald on Slowbro, it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Calm down, Kizaron. Yeah, that one
There's
was
a special teleporter that goes right back to the beginning.
the classic. Okay.
Yeah, at some point they started designing the gyms so that they had a quick way to leave, so you didn't have to do the puzzle in reverse.
Which, you know, is really nice.
Did they not do that in the original Gen 1?
Nope. You had to go back through the teleporter puzzle to get out.
Oh geez, I don't remember that.
I can't... I think... I may be misremembering this, but I think you could use escape ropes to get out, but...
Head down to Fuchsia.
Oh, another fun fact about this game, not only is your starter Pokemon, like, special, with its own special stats and whatnot, if you look closely enough, they actually have slightly different models from the others. Like, Eevee's got, like, fluffier, like, the fur around its neck is fluffier.
Did not get kicked by Koga, let's go!
And this is why we had to catch all those Pokemon. Also, Koga straight up went to Hot Topic.
Oh yeah, look at all that fishnet.
The fingerless gloves, the fishnets.
My guy is ready to go raving.
So, this trainer is the only one, I think, in this gym that cannot be skipped.
Correct.
Some of the others are kind of tight, and the invisible walls make it kind of annoying, but... Probably more like beginning of the 2000s Hot Topic.
Okay, we did not get the drop for Moonblast, so that's good. Alright, everything in this gym knows Protect.
Yep. Which not only wastes time, but it also wastes PP, or power points, which is the number of times you can use a move before, like, healing or whatever. And if you get hit with enough Protect to, like, lose enough power points on certain moves, you get to waste even more time by going next door to the Pokemon Center.
Yeah, the good news is, typically you pick up 2 PP restoring items, and I haven't used either yet. I prefer to save it for after Koga, just because you do not know how often you're going to need to spend them.
Yeah, I mean, I know that, like, the 2 that we got in Eevee, at least back the last time I ran it, were, like, used at specific points.
Yep. One of them is somewhere before or after Koga, and one of them is on the Elite Four.
Yep. Right before or after Agatha, one of the 2.
Easy Scald.
Customary tail high five.
Yep. Time to go get the last HM.
Yep, all the invisible walls are gone.
Yep.
So you can just walk out.
Yeah.
If it sucks, hit the bricks.
Yeah. Forgetting to do this is annoyingly common. And definitely hasn't happened in PB attempts.
You also gotta not forget to get the teeth in the first place.
Yeah. Which is why I do it before the gym. Just so I don't have to think about it.
Pikachu's getting them gains. Can now bench press its entire trainer.
Okay, there's that. We want to use the max repel.
Yeah, at this point, since we don't have any Pokemon left to catch, it's better not to have to deal with them being in the way on the routes. So, from this point on, we have repels.
Yep. And we'll leave those on basically for the rest of the run unless it runs out in the Indigo Plateau. So, once again, as a reminder, here's Blue, who is canonically Oak's grandson. So this is not just a re-envisioning of Gen 1. And also, Mega Evolution is still here.
Also, I love how much this game dunks on Professor Oak. But yep, there's the... For free, you get the starter Mega stones. And you can use them if you have those starters, which we didn't catch any of them. Oh, you joke, but Green is actually in this game, in the post-game. Like, you can fight her.
Yeah, she will fight you. Great.
Which I think is kind of cool, because she kind of got, like, you know, lost in the development of Gen 1. No, her name, I'm pretty sure her name is Green.
Green and Leaf are two different characters.
Yeah, so talking to this trainer from behind and fighting him there stops him from moving into the way where we don't, so you can't get through.
Yeah, and the next trainer we're going to do is the first one where you can go for Hydro Pump if you want.
Yeah, just... the whole thing with blue and green and all that is... that's a whole thing on its own.
Mm-hmm.
Is like, our red and blue were actually red and green, but actually they were, the Japanese blue version, but with the version differences between red and green put in.
Oh, well, that just... okay.
But, like, if you have a, like, repro cart of Pokemon Green translated into English, and you plug it into your transfer pack on Pokemon Stadium, it recognizes it as a Pokemon Green cartridge. Which is so weird. So, like, there was clearly data in there for, like, a North American green version. It's so weird. And then with Fire Red and Leaf Green, they kept it Fire Red and in North America.
Okay, it is time for new strats.
New strats.
And then there was no, like, Gen 3 blue version, even in Japan.
So what are
Like-
new strats?
So, yeah, so this is a 2-controller fight.
Oh. Poliwag is over.
And so, Dijon, do you want to talk about the fight?
So I'm not familiar with the new strats on this fight. I am familiar with the...
Yeah, just talk about, like, the
Right.
old strats, and I'll explain what the new strats do.
So the old strats, you kind of had to set up to get around, like, Dugtrio's speed and all sorts of things. And then it was mostly just scalding things, optional hydro pumps if you wanted to risk it, and I think you had the option of using Psychic on the Niddos.
So yeah, as it turns out, if you go for 2-controller and Dugtrio hits Earthquake, because it's now a spread move and there's a damage penalty for when a move hits 2 targets in Pokemon rather than just 1, you don't have to worry about the Starmie dying, and you can just set up the 1x special attack you need for this fight immediately, and not have to worry about, like, setting up the X defend and getting crit through it, or healing. You just have to heal afterwards.
Interesting.
I believe even if you get crit, this is a safe fight. And since we have the revives, we have to heal. Though, you know, you do have to take the time to do this menu, even if you aren't in quick attack range. So pros and cons, but for safety, it is great.
Yeah. And now, our second to last rival fight.
Mm-hmm.
This...
Yeah, these strats have not changed.
Yeah. This, is a fight that was always, two-controller. But, if you had the right stats and you were brave enough, this could be done one controller, but you had to have, like really good stats and, like, risk it. Really risk it.
I do not think people on world record attempts do not go for the one controller fight here.
Yeah, people kind of stopped doing that because it was not worth it. The time that was spent on the time that you would lose by doing a two-controller fight is not enough to outweigh the risk of killing your world record pace run.
Yeah, even with all the other risky strats that people have started implementing, this is still just a two-controller fight. Because it is not worth it. And honestly, with all the new save strats for the Elite Four, optimally you only lose like 5-10 seconds.
Which, you know, for world records can be a lot, but it's also preferable to the run dying in the
Correct.
Elite Four. I wouldn't know anything about runs dying in the Elite Four or anything, but...
It's okay, I watched a top-tier runner going for sub 3, which is like... sub 315 in this is like where you start being good. Sub 3 is like... single-digit people have a sub 3 time in this game.
Yeah, sub 3 is not anything I will ever go for, that's for sure.
Yeah. My PB is a 3:15:30, and like I really want the sub 3:15, but I don't know whether or not I can push much further than that without like just a lot of really focused practice on like optimizing how I catch things and resetting for good catch routes.
Yeah, I think my EV PB was something like 330, 340. I don't remember. I never submit runs to anything anymore. Not mean like to the leaderboards. I submit them to other things. Just I don't know.
Anyway,
It's not the best time, but like it's decent.
and I'm sure you could get like a 320 if you, without too much effort. Now with the new strats and stuff.
Yeah. That requires time to stream and stuff.
Yep. Anyway, Victory Road. I'm just gonna focus on doing these fights, so I'll just let the two of you carry it from here.
Yeah, so this fight is one of those ones that back in the day was like, if you have the correct stats and you want to go for the risk, you can do this one controller, but it's much, much safer with one controller, or with two controllers rather. And I don't know if people still attempt one controller on that.
Oh, they do it all the time.
Okay.
Like, because if you... It's not too rough if you... But, like, you know, you just have to hit the Hydro Pump if your stats are good enough. But yeah, all these... Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, this is where the no mount skip really matters, then?
Yep. Because if I had the right Joy-Cons so that I could get my angles precise, I could do setups to skip by all of the trainers in here.
Yeah, there are people who, like, straight up have, like, I'm pretty sure some people have, like, modified their Joy-Cons to, like, etch in, like, the right spot. Then you can buy some that just have the little, like, gates, you know?
Yeah. Because you
They're
only
like-
really need the cardinal direction gates.
There is a trainer skip in here that is not a mount skip, though.
Yep.
It's similar to the one on the route where we got horse.
17.
Yeah. I was gonna say cycling road, but it's not cycling road in this one.
Yeah, it's Pokemon Road. No, seriously, that's what they call it now.
Yep. Pokemon Road.
By the way, can I
Hey,
just point out the Pikachu jumping off of your shoulder, high-kicking this giant stone, and it moves?
Yep.
Oh yeah, Eevee does it too.
You'd think you'd want to go more down towards the, you know, center of mass.
I mean, they
Nope,
could
you
be,
hit it from the top.
It could be top heavy.
Yeah, who knows? I don't know what these rocks are made out of.
Probably made out of rock. Go get amethyst.
I'll bugger
So, here's-
on stream.
Okay,
Nice.
that's easy to do when once you get it down, but that is a tight window to like get around her line of vision.
So, fun fact about, like, hitboxes in this game. Very recently, people were, you know, doing world record attempts, and on one of them, instead of talking to this trainer, they were trying to talk to her from the top of the, like, standing kind of on top, at the top of the screen, kind of in the middle of them, and they accidentally talked to the other trainer instead. And his team sucks. His team is the worst. You do not want to fight it.
Yeah.
144. That's actually really good.
But
It
yeah,
means I can scold the Golbat.
But yeah, if you end up hitting that trainer that Leggy skipped, not only do you lose the time to the battle, you also have to go back around to Officer Jenny to get another heal before continuing.
You could you have enough to get through. You just hit the center in Indigo. But depending on where you are, like Jenny's not too far out of the way.
How you drop the rock straight down, and then you jump down the same hole, and then you land next to the rock.
Right. I like to think we land on top and then just jump off again. But the game is silly.
And then you smell what the rock is cooking.
Oh man, imagine if you could drop down, land on the rock, and hop over.
That would be amazing.
God, I just want to play Mystic Quest.
I just pictured her landing on top of Wayne Johnson.
Yeah.
So this is the guy. That is like the first mount skip that was found, I believe.
Yeah, so basically what happens is you'll notice it's a bit of a tight pinch and you could have your horse despawn. It turns out that someone just accidentally did the mount skip here. And, you know, this led the community to freak out and try and figure out what the heck happened.
And then try to recreate it in other places.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, that's what led to the mount skip in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was just complete accident that someone was... Was it Etchy that did that?
I forget who it was. I don't think it was Etchy. I think it was one of the smaller names.
Yeah. I feel like I at least remember him, like, trying to figure it out.
Yeah, like, there were a lot of people who did a lot of work to try and replicate it.
Full restore, good to have. And here's that familiar music.
Hit my theme song.
I assume in
The horse.
Let's Go Eevee, Eevee does some similar-ish cute scene there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay.
Actually, no, I want to wait till I'm in here to menu, sorry. There we go. It's been a while since I've actually done this particular set of strats, so
Yeah, I was
my
gonna say.
menu goes a little sussy.
It was like Dodrio, huh?
Yeah, you either need a bird, like Dodrio, or a fish, like Golduck, for one of the fights.
Golduck isn't a fish, it's a duck.
Ducks are fish.
That's...
Just like Yoshis are horses.
Everything are fish.
I mean, yeah, Yoshi is a horse, but
Yeah, and
a duck is not a fish.
Golduck is a duck, which is a fish.
No. That's not science. That's not how that works.
According to California, it is.
Yes, Lapras is
What?
Lapras is also a fish.
Is Lapras an instrument?
No, Patrick, mayonnaise is not an instrument. Also, my special attack is good enough that I can just set up to +4 here.
I'm never sure about anything, Natara.
So, like,
You of all
honestly...
people should know.
Honestly, this star was amazing, and I wish I got stars like this more often in PB attempts.
So, if a duck is a fish in the state of California, does that mean ducks contain elements known to cause cancer?
I mean, yeah, everything in California does.
I was gonna say probably anymore, but
Is this like a duck is a fish in the same way that, like, a decade ago ketchup was a vegetable or pizza was a vegetable?
So the real answer is that I think it was during the tournament someone was trying to explain this strat and accidentally called Golduck a fish, and the community has just run with it.
Oh.
And then in California, they made they considered bees fish in order to get them under legal protection law, basically. So that's why California comes into it.
Also,
Gotcha.
like, scientifically, like, if you sit down and try to define what a fish is, there is no actual, like, scientific way to determine what constructs a fish.
Yeah. So it's a silly thing that is a compound meme, really.
Oh yeah, we've got multiple layers of meme.
This is where I would just play the song "What Is a Blouse."
Okay, so as we get near the end of the run, what is when does, like, time end? Is it the end of the Elite Four and the champion fight, or?
So we will get entered into the Hall of Fame, and a little cutscene will play where it'll go through our Pokemon. You'll see all my trainer and my Pokemon running together, and it'll flash up a big congratulations. On fade out is when time will be.
All right. So we're getting close.
Yep.
Okay, I just have to say, Feral Hogs 3050 is a fantastic username.
True. Gonna heal here just to be safe and summon.
I love how, like... Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, this is she's doing a 2-controller fight. I've always done this 1-controller.
Yeah, this is the part where we get deep into 2-controller strats that were developed for the ongoing tournament. Apparently the second controller didn't register at first. Jeez.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wait a second, where's the second player?
Yeah.
Oh, but I had just wanted to point out how each of the rooms for the Elite Four are, designed for them in comparison to, say, Pokemon Scarlet Violet, where they're all in literally a white room.
Yeah. Some of the Elite Four buildings are very elaborate, like X and Y.
Yeah.
And
Though I want to know how they got, like, the purple smoke. Like, is this room just, like, full of poison? Or...
Yes.
Oh, no.
and then Sword and Shield didn't have an Elite Four, really. It was just once you got all the badges, you could enter the championship tournament, and then in the end, you beat Leon, the champion, and that's it. You win. You're the champion. But yeah, the strat I always used was one controller, and like Arbok would basically like glare to paralyze you first thing, and then it would like do some damage while like got set up. Then I just used the full restore, and then I'd be fast enough to one-shot it with Psychic before it could paralyze me again.
Yeah, so the key to the two controller strats is that you skip all of the, like, you skip most of the setup turns by passing sort of those the setup throughout the fight rather than needing to do it all on the first Pokemon, which means you need to set up less because you don't need to set up your defenses.
Basically, Dodrio is your X item user.
Yeah, and additionally, you don't need to go into the menu between fights to heal, because on the last or second to last fight, turn of the fight, you heal up. So, like, I managed to get into this fight, I didn't need to use my ether outside of it, because I'd already used it in the fight.
I noticed you didn't save.
Yeah. See, fine. And now I call for help. And now I sweep. Because I don't need to worry about ranges, because my Pokemon is actually good enough. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Generally, my issue wasn't ranges, it was that something would crit me. And, like, there's no protecting against it.
Yeah. But I mean, sometimes you run into ranges if your Starmie has low enough special attack that can be a little scary. But yeah, like, because we only had the one turn of setup, we basically eliminated all risk of, you know, getting crit and just exploding.
A very wide shot of a very empty gym.
Mm-hmm. You know, this is actually a smoke machine going, you know, just like to make it look spooky and dragon-like. You know, the power of the dragons or something.
Also, Leggy is using Psychic against Charizard instead of one of the other attacks, because all our other ones are super effective, because Psychic is enough to defeat the Charizard without giving the super effective pop-up.
And the turnaround that happens when you get a KO with a super effective move.
Right. Okay.
Congratulations is what I would say.
I just love the dunking on Oak.
Right? So good.
Also, fun fact, there's unused data in the Gen 1 Pokemon games of a...
Alright, this is also a cutscene we can skip, but I'm just gonna let it play out. Because, swag.
trainer battle against Professor Oak, and he has 3 different possible teams depending on starter left over. But sadly, that data goes unused. Although there are ways to like use glitches to fight him, or
Anyway.
Game Shark. So, Pidgeot.
So, Pidgeot.
So, I've always done this one controller.
Yeah, don't worry about the strat. Wait, which... I lost track of where my brain was. So we want to X speed and X special attack.
And here is the one Mega Evolution we see.
Okay. This is suboptimal, but...
So, when the route for Eevee, whenever I was running it, was one controller, and it was basically set up against Mega Pidgeot, heal as needed, and if it gets a crit, then your run is dead.
Oh no.
Yep.
I've lost many a run to that Pidgeot.
And now we've developed these 2 controller strats, so that's no longer an issue.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so is the 2 controller strat just, it's much safer, I would assume.
Yep. This is like going to be the de facto strats you see for marathons and such going forward, just because it is so much safer. Like, not having to sit through like 4 or 5 turns of taking hits from a Pokemon that will kill you if they crit means that your odds of getting through just shot through the roof.
So the Rapidash there was another example of using Psychic, even though you can use a super effective move, because you know it will kill and you won't get the turnaround or the super effective. Meanwhile, you kind of have to use Thunderbolt on the Slowbro, because it resists everything else.
Yeah. And, like, if you do the strat optimally, your partner Pokemon dies. And I have to relearn how those strats work. But we got through. What's the timer at?
3:19-ish.
Okay.
Not bad.
Since it's, plus or minus a few seconds.
Yeah. Like, this is going to be about a 3:20, which, still underestimate. I'm happy with this run. Like, we definitely had some spicy catch routing that, and a little bit of waiting around, especially like on Route 6 and Route 10. So, I'm not upset with that time. Time is coming up very shortly. We have this. We're going to go through both of the Pokemon. We are going to cut away to another screen. And after this, time is now.
Gosh, the support trainer doesn't even get recognition for defeating the champion.
Nope.
GG. Well, so I don't know how accurate it is, but the timer is 3:20:18.
Yeah.
So, plus or minus a few seconds. Not bad. Underestimate.
Yeah. Within 5 minutes of PB, we take those.
Nice. Any shoutouts you want to do?
Yeah, so just shoutouts to the Pokemon Let's Go speedrunning community. Every single person I've interacted with running this game has been amazing and wonderful, and I've really enjoyed participating in the current tournament. Shoutouts to my lovely co-commentator dijonketchup. Always a blast to hang out with you. Shoutouts to the Lady Arcaders in general for being just a wonderful organization. I've enjoyed every single time I've hung out with y'all. And finally, I'm receiving word that I should probably say that the RPG Valkyries are accepting submissions for our upcoming marathon Speedrun Ragnarok. Please, please, please get your games in.
Yeah. It's gonna be great. I guess I'm dijonketchup. You can find me on Twitch at dijonketchup. I stream sporadically. I'm trying to stream more. I do stuff. Sometimes I speedrun, sometimes I shiny hunt, sometimes I play games casually, and pretty soon I'm gonna be doing some, like, achievement and trophy unlocking streams, because it's fun and I want to do that. And I also have a couple other things coming up. Like Leggy said, RPG Valkyries, you should submit. I'm gonna be on the GDQ hotfix around like 10:30 Eastern on August 3rd for the show As Seen on TV, and running DuckTales Remastered for that. And Flame Fatales is coming up, and I'm running Pokemon Blue Reverse Badge Order in that. So yeah, those are shoutouts. Those are things that I have going on.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that run. It was fun. It was cute. And yeah, thank you so much. Thank you everyone for being here for that great run. Just a reminder, we do have events going every Thursday and Sunday. The next one is Thursday, August 3rd at 9 p.m. Eastern. That's going to be Selkuth Mine playing an extreme difficulty showcase of Cook Serve Delicious. But for now, we are done for today, but we're going to pass you over to a fun raid. We're going to go raid Greta Icefixen, who is doing Let's Go Pikachu Diploma %. So stick around. Thanks for being with us, and we'll see you soon.